Do-do-do-do-do. 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 Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Matthew Conlon. This channel is dedicated to my hobbies like comics, anime, and RPGs. I'm doing another installation of Adventures League legal builds for X-Men characters. Got two of them for you today. Colossus and Thunderbird, because they're both brick tank type characters, and Thunderbird's is really straightforward. So let's jump right into Colossus, which turned out to be a little trickier than I thought. Race, Goliath. If you've seen the comics, you know he stands head and shoulders taller than pretty much everybody else. Background, criminal. Depending on which origin story or iteration of X-Men you're reading, Colossus got his start being a leg breaker for the Russian mob. He's a really sweet guy, but he sort of got pressured into it. Now, Colossus started his career as a criminal, like I said. Our skill selection, athletics, acrobatics, intimidation, and persuasion. Then we're going to go into our stat spread. I'm using standard array. We've got 14 strength, 13 dex, 15 con, 10 intelligence, 8 wisdom, and 12 charisma. Decided to go 12 charisma because he ended up having a successful romantic relationship with Kitty Pryde. Good job. Decided to dump wisdom because he's made a lot of really terrible decisions, one of which led to his death, another of which led to him losing his soul. Then we're going to go into his build. Overall, his build is going to be 6 levels of Barbarian and 14 levels of Fighter. Barbarian type is Totem Warrior, Fighter type is Champion. Now, you're welcome to build the character in whatever order you see fit. For my purposes, though, I decided to use one that's sort of alternated between narrative necessity and build efficiency at lower level. Level 1 we're going Fighter because we want that heavy armor proficiency. Level 2 we're going Barbarian because we want the rage for the damage resistance. Level 3 we're going back to Fighter so we can get action surge. Level 4 we're going back to Barbarian, and we're sticking with that until level 8. So that's going to leave us with 6 levels of Barbarian, 2 levels of Fighter. That'll give us our second attack, but most importantly it's going to give us our Totem Warrior path features. And we're going to go bear both times. Level 3 and level 6, we're taking the bear totem. Level 3 gives us resistance to all types of damage except psychic, very in theme for Colossus. And level 6 is one of my favorites. It gives us what is essentially the powerful build feature. But it's not powerful build. It just says that you're treated as one size category larger. And since we're a Goliath, we're already treated as one category size larger, which means now for the purposes of lifting, pushing, and dragging stuff, we're considered a huge creature. With our 16 strength from race bonuses and our starting stat, that's a massive amount of weight we can move. If your DM is requiring you to make athletics checks to do anything strength related, I think they are being a little unfair to you based on this build. We're going to have our 2 attacks. We're going to have resistance to all that damage when we rage. We're going to have 4 rages a day. I think that's more than enough. That's in addition to our Goliath racial feature, Stone's Endurance, which allows us to roll a d12, add our con bonus, and subtract that from the damage of anything that injures us. At level 6, we're going to get our first feat from our 4 levels of Barbarian, and we're going with Heavy Armor Mastery. At level 9, we'll take Champion Fighter. That's going to give us our improved critical. At level 10, we're going to take the Toughness feat because you're a tank, you're supposed to take tons of damage. Level 12, we're taking Tavern Brawler because I don't know if you've ever read the comics, but Colossus doesn't exactly run around with a weapon. He just beats things up with his giant osmium fists. Level 14, we're getting another fighter ability score increase. We're going +2 con. That's going to bring us up to an 18 constitution. At level 18, we're going to get another ability score increase. That's going to go another +2 con so that we have another 20 constitution character. Our fighting style when we started Fighter way back at level 1 would have been defensive or armored. So he's got +1 AC. Hopefully you managed to get some sort of adamantine plate, which would be really sweet, or even just plate +3. Wield his shield if you want to. Maybe your DM's okay if you fluff it as, you know, you just sort of block things with your giant fists. Whatever works for you. But that's Colossus. Not the most straightforward build. By the end of your career, you're making 3 attacks around. Realistically, you're doing d4 +3 damage with them. However, your ability to push, lift, and drag things will be like a fire giant with a 16 strength. And if you luck out and you get a magic item that pumps your strength up, like a belt of giant strength, you'll be absolutely insane when it comes to just demolishing stuff. Thunderbird. I said this was a really straightforward build. Thunderbird was a Native American character. John Proudstar was his name. He ended up dying really early in that series run. Eventually, his younger brother, James Proudstar, would join up with the New Mutants and then later X-Force, the comic by Rob Liefeld. But the original Thunderbird, John Proudstar, died early on. No one really seemed to care. He came back a few times later on, and he did all kinds of weird stuff. There were some questionable narrative choices because of the era. Essentially, every Native American character was seen as some sort of shaman-like figure with spiritual powers. And then Thunderbird's actual powers were really big guy, super strong and super tough, not super tough enough to survive a plane exploding underneath him. But for Thunderbird, we're going with variant human. Our stat array is going to be Strength 14, Dex 14, Con 14, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 12, Charisma 8. And then for our variant human feat, we're taking Magic Initiate Druid to represent both his enhanced senses and the sort of often alluded to Native American spiritual aspects of the character. So our cantrips are going to be Shillelagh and Guidance, and then our first level spell that we get to cast once a day, Detect Poison and Disease, owing to his enhanced senses' ability to sense things through scent and observation. Skills. Character really did not get enough play to bring out things that he was good at besides the default X-Men skill package of athletics and acrobatics. He trained in the danger room like everybody else, so we're going with those from Barbarian. Background, you could take Hermit, Far Traveler, Soldier would probably be the best, especially if you decide to go with the representation from the newer X-Men television series on Fox, The Gifted. That character had a soldier background. So at level 1, we have our Magic Initiate Druid. We're not taking any more feats after that. It's just all ability score increases. Level 4, +1 Strength, +1 Constitution. Level 8, +2 Strength. Level 12, +2 Strength. Level 16, +2 Con. Level 19, +2 Con. That's going to give him 20 Strength, 20 Constitution when he hits level 20. He's going Barbarian 20 straight up. Path of the Ancestors from Xanthar's Guide. Path of the Ancestors is going to give him a lot of those spiritual aspects, but it's also a really strong defensive barbarian type, which I'm a giant fan of, and that's it. Now you might think with a Wisdom of 12 and Shillelagh, that's not really a strong combination, but Shillelagh just says you can use your Wisdom. You're not obligated to. So if you choose to Shillelagh up your club or your staff and then just hammer somebody with it with your strength, that's a completely viable choice. All you've done is take your D4 weapon and turn it into a D8 weapon that's also magical, and that's really handy at level 1. When we hit level 20 as a barbarian, our strength is going to jump to 24, our constitution is going to jump to 24. I might even be willing to ditch one of my +2 strengths just to take toughness, because that's going to give me so many hit points. I'm a real big fan of this character build, just running straight up the chain and going for maximum stats. I hope you guys are liking these. There's only one character left to do, and that's Storm. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day.